Jordan Love gets paid, what was it? A 4-year, $220 million contract extension, making him, I think, one of the highest, if not the highest paid player. Oh, he's tied for the highest paid player in NFL history, making with a $75 million signing bonus. What I'm about to do is I'm about to discuss this contract and, do I think he deserves it? What this means for the Green Bay Packers, what this means for the NFL in general. That is about to be talked about. And I'll do a little behind the scenes. What I'm going to talk about after this is Tua Tagovailoa's contract and how both of these are viewed, or I view these two contracts very differently. So let's stay with the Jordan Love one first. When you follow a legend, it is always difficult, not only because you have to find a way to path or pave a road on your own, but you have to fight the expectations of others that isn't really necessarily built for you. It was built for the person after you or before you. I'm sorry. We talk about it a lot. It's very tough replacing a Coach K because of the legacy that he leaves. It's very tough replacing a Nick Saban at Alabama because of the legacy he leaves. Well, it's extremely difficult replacing someone like an Aaron Rodgers because of the legacy he leaves in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, no matter how you feel about his personality, no matter how you feel about some of the ways that he responds to things, some of the things that he does off the field, Aaron Rodgers is widely considered one of the most talented quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen. And this is somebody coming off of replacing Brett Favre, who I'm not going to talk about all the off the field stuff. What I will say is on the field, he's one of the most successful, one of the widely regarded best quarterbacks we've ever seen. So you're replacing the legend of Brett Favre, you're replacing the legend of Aaron Rodgers, and for Jordan Love, it's very difficult to pave your path. And I think that's one reason why he got paid this extension. You see, there's a reason why somebody does what they do. A lot of times those reasons are different, but there's a reason why the Packers felt the need to sign Jordan Love to a contract like this. And if you want to continue the whole behind the scenes thing, we're going to talk about the reasons that Tua got paid and if I feel those reasons are suffice. But for Jordan Love, we've seen the highs. We've seen how good Jordan Love can be. I mean, we saw him thoroughly outplay Dak Prescott in the playoff game against the Cowboys. We've seen how Jordan Love, for a good portion of the season, was one of the best quarterbacks as far as the first three quarters. Now, we also saw that he was one of the worst quarterbacks at times in the fourth quarter as far as turnovers, as far as late game rallies that didn't happen. But those to me are growing pains. You see, Jordan Love got paid because of the potential that we've seen. The potential is there's a reason why there's a lot of people that are extremely high on the Green Bay Packers this year coming up. A lot of it is because of Jordan Love. I don't think the major reason why he got paid was because of that playoff win, but that was the cherry on top. to play like that. And honestly, they should have won against the 49ers, but they didn't. I think Jordan Love has all the you see, there's going to be people. Let me back up for a second. There's going to be people that look at what I've said, especially early on, and think that I was one of the people bashing Jordan Love. They're probably going to sit back and listen and think that I was a Jordan Love hater. I just was not in Jordan Love's corner. And that is furthest from the truth. I will say that I was only saying what was said. Let me say that. I'm not the one that created the narrative that Jordan Love had a rough training camp. I'm not the one that created the narrative that, especially when we talk about the year before last, anytime Jordan Love got in, he didn't look great. He had moments, but he didn't look great. I'm not the one that created the narrative saying that it's going to be very tough for Jordan Love to live up to the legend of Aaron Rodgers, especially with, at the time, Aaron Rodgers still playing. Now, yes, Aaron Rodgers still plays, but we know he was out 4 plays into the season last year. I wasn't the one that made that narrative. I was just saying what people were saying. And I agreed to the sense of I was only making opinions off of what I saw. And anytime I saw Jordan Love before last year, it looked like a person that was not prepared for the moment. Maybe he wasn't prepared for the pressure. He wasn't prepared for whatever team he was playing. It just seemed like he wasn't prepared. Now, I will give Jordan Love all the credit. Last year, he played much better than I expected him to play. And he got the money the extension that he signed was mainly for potential, because the potential is quite high, especially after what I saw last year, or after what we saw last year. The potential is extremely high. I think Jordan Love has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. I know I saw Dan Orlowski's list, and Jordan Love may be a top 5, might be, I don't know, but I'm not picking Jordan Love. There's no way that you can talk about a top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC and not have Jalen Hurts, and not as much as we talk about him as much as Dak Prescott. That's just me. But I think the Packers were very smart into giving this extension. Now, obviously, people are going to hear it's tied for the highest paid player in NFL history, and that is such a tough talking point, because no, I don't think anyone thinks outside of the Green Bay Packers right now. I don't think anyone thinks that Jordan Love is good enough to be the highest paid player in the NFL. No, especially when you see some of the quarterbacks that are still in this league. But that's just the money that's able to be thrown around. I'm sure if Tom Brady was, if the if the Patriots were able to throw Tom Brady $220 million, I'm sure he would have signed it multiple times. I'm sure at the time, if the Cincinnati Bengals was able, if the Green Bay Packers were able to throw Aaron Rodgers $220 million, they would have done it. But because of the salary cap, because of TV deals, because of just how much money is increased, there's a reason why almost every contract you see now is highest of all time, you know? So I think that this shouts out to Jordan Love. You're only as good as what you can negotiate, and let me not say that. You're only worth what you can negotiate, and obviously, he was able to negotiate 4 years, $220 million. So, shouts out to him. I think there's a lot of expectation, and I think the real expectation now comes in now that he had his contract. And this contract, same thing with Trevor Lawrence, same thing with Lamar Jackson. These contracts aren't the expectation. Obviously, everything that goes on with Green Bay, that's a little different. But most of the now expectation that's put on a player comes from, are you going to be able to live up to this contract? This contract isn't, now at this point, it's starting to become the norm for a certain point, but this contract isn't, let's just maybe win a playoff game, or maybe, no, in 4 years, the Green Bay Packers hope that Jordan Love puts them in the position to be Super Bowl bound. If he's not, or if he doesn't even come close to that, that's when we're going to say, oh, was this contract worth it or not? Because when you, kind of like Trevor Lawrence, when you're signing somebody off of potential, that is when you start to see, okay. Or when you look at the end of that contract, you start to see, what has he done within the span of this contract? And if it's nowhere close to what I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence or Jordan Love is going to win a Super Bowl. What I'm saying is they have to be close, whether conference championship, whether losing a Super Bowl, you have to be close, because at that point they're going to look like, all right, what did we pay you for? If a person that keeps making it to the playoffs but keeps losing round one or keeps losing in round two is not someone that's worth $220 million. I'm sorry to be real with you. That's just it. It is. But I think that Jordan Love, I understand completely, and I'm not, I think the Green Bay Packers signed him off potential and what we saw last year. And last year he had incredible moments. I will say that. So shouts out to Jordan Love. And I'm excited to see what he looks like at the end of this contract. So, oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.